In today's video, I'm going to talk about how to get out of a rut when you are in a tough season in your life. So I thought it would be very fitting to do this video because I personally am in a tough season right now. Earlier this year, I was diagnosed with Graves' disease and hyperthyroidism. And recently, I just found out that I also have Lyme's disease. So last year, I was doing fine. My health was good. But then in August of last year, I was bitten by a tick. And ever since that tick bite, my health has rapidly declined. And so this has been a really tough season to go from a once healthy person to all of a sudden you got all kinds of health conditions due to a single tick. Mentally, emotionally, that's been a very tough pill for me to swallow. But physically, it has taken a toll on my body, and I have been really struggling with different symptoms and things that have really slowed me down and just caused me to not feel good. So I have really been applying these things that I'm about to discuss with you today because I just really refuse to stay in a rut. You know, it's not something I want to be in. I'm normally a very active, positive person, and I don't want to stay here. So if you're going through a tough situation as well, it could be your health, it could be finances, it could be marriage, kids, relationships, a number of things. I hope that these tips that I talk about today will also help you and encourage you to get out of that rut. So the first thing I've really been focusing on doing is getting dressed. So especially for stay-at-home wives and mothers, it's easy to not get dressed if you're not feeling that great. And so I've really had to fight this and just get dressed. One lady, she's really sweet, she's talking about, you just gotta get up and wash your face, So like wash your face, put some makeup on, do what you gotta do in order to look the part. And even if you don't feel the part yet, it will help you to get there. All right, so that's tip number one. Tip number two is have your pity party and then snap out of it. So the reason I say this is because I'm human, and sometimes there's times where I just need to ask questions and I need to kind of just cry or, not feel good because I don't want to just fake it and act like everything's okay when it's really not and I'm not feeling good. There are times where I just cry. Or I ask God, why? Why did this have to happen? Or I have regret, feelings of regret, or I should have done this, I should have done that. If I did this wouldn't have not happened that way. Just a lot of that. I just get that out, but then I know that I can't keep going down that route. So I then say, okay, you got it out. It's time to move on. So I think that helps just to get those emotions out so you can move on. There's an analogy I'd like to share with you guys real quick. Just thinking about, where we are. We are at ground level. We can only see so much from our vantage point. So there's times when things happen in our lives, we may not understand why they happen. We have so many questions, but we have to go back to remembering that God, He's got the aerial view. He is way up there. He can see our lives as a big picture. And so although we may not be able to see why things take place or happen the way we want them to from our vantage point, we have to remember and just trust that God sees the big picture and He's going to take care of us. Something is going to come out of our weaknesses. Something is going to come out of our struggles. And just being okay, not being okay, if that makes sense. So you may not feel okay, but just trusting and believing that God has a purpose. God has a plan for my life, even though I don't understand it. Number three, it kind of goes in line with what I just talked about, is replace negative thoughts with scripture and inspirational quotes. So I really have had to do this a lot lately, just so I can meditate on the truth and meditate on what's positive and help me to remember that God is in control. So this has really helped me just to keep my mind focused on the right things. And so the scriptures that I've been really leaning on lately is Galatians 6:9, which says, "And let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not." So that's been a big one because there's just some times where I am tired. I'm just really tired, but I have to remember to just not grow weary and just keep on keeping on. And in due season, God is gonna work things out, and He's going to allow my harvest to reap. And so that's been a big one. And then 2 Corinthians 12, 9 and 10, it says, "But He said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is perfected in weakness. Therefore, I will most gladly boast all the more about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may reside in me. So I take pleasures in weaknesses, insults, hardships, persecutions, and in difficulties for the sake of Christ. For when I am weak, then I am strong." And so those two verses really minister to me because just with my health, I've been feeling very weak. I have times where I'm just so tired and my body is just really fighting and it's really going through some stuff. And so I have to allow God's strength to come out in my weakness. And so it's really encouraged me to know that God can still use me. Even when I feel weak, God can still use me. He can still do something with my life. And so that is why I'm here, sitting here right now. I'm in a place where I don't feel my best, but I am determined to still allow the Lord to use me and to encourage and inspire other people who are going through things to keep going, because even in your weakness, God can still show Himself strong. The next thing, number 4, I said to use this time that you're going through a tough season to work on yourself. So this can mean a lot of different things for different people and the situations that you're going through. But personally for me, dealing with the health issues that I've been going through, I've been using this time to really hone in on getting my diet back in a good place as far as eating really clean, healthy, unprocessed food the majority of the time. Because before all this happened, I was enjoying more processed food than I needed to. Let's just put it that way. So I've been really focused on getting my diet where it needs to be, because that's going to help me as far as my overall health. Another thing I've been working on is just making sure that I'm exercising. Even though I'm not doing the things I used to do, like running and all those high intensity things, I'm riding my bike, I'm walking, and I'm also going to be starting to do some weight training as well to help me just to build muscle and to help me with my overall strength, because some of the things I've been dealing with has caused me to have like muscle weakness and just achy muscles, and so I think that will help. So those are just a couple examples of things I'm doing to help me through my tough season. But whatever you are going through, just think of a few things that you can do to better yourself as you're going through that tough season. It may be getting out and doing a hobby that you really enjoy, or spending more time with friends to help you. Whatever it be, just come up with a couple things and start doing those. Number 5, get outside in God's creation. So not only can this be very therapeutic, but it can also help you just to clear your mind and just to kind of reset, being able to enjoy God's creation and just breathe, just relax, So biking and walking are 2 of my favorite things to do in order to do that. Number 6, don't do life alone. So talk with people in your life who can encourage and lift you up. Not everyone's going to be that person, so stay away from those who are not, but find the people in your life who are going to encourage you, who are going to pray with you, who are going to lift you up when you're having your times where it's just hard, where you guys can share encouraging verses or just share your stories, to help build you up. I have several family members and friends that I reach out to, and we encourage one another, and that makes such a difference, just to have a community. If you don't have a community of people that you can think of, then find one. There may be some local groups that you can join that are kind of like-minded as yourself, or there might be some groups online that might be growing through some similar things you are to help encourage each other. Just make sure that whoever you find is positive and that builds you up and does not do the opposite, all right? And number 7, my final tip here is don't give up. There's times where you're going through these seasons and you're gonna wanna quit. I personally felt like that, even with this YouTube channel. I have been motivated to move forward and put out content, but then physically, mentally, just not feeling good, and it has like been a fight to just move forward and keep on pushing on and putting out content. So I am in the fight myself, and it's hard to overcome feelings of wanting to give up, but you have to keep going on. God has a purpose in your life. He has a purpose in my life. And if we don't move forward, if we quit, we're not going to be able to fulfill that purpose that He has for us. And I just personally feel like if I miss out on that, my life is just not going to be as good as it could have been, you know? So I am fighting, and I invite you to join me if you have different things that you're trying to move forward in, but you've been really feeling tempted to quit. Don't quit. Keep on showing up, watching my videos. I'm going to do all I can to encourage you as I'm on my journey. I hope that will help you on your journey. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and please write in the comments how this has helped you, if there's different tips that you're going to apply. I want to encourage you to go ahead and type in the comments what you're going to do, and I would love to hear about that. I also invite you to join this community by clicking that subscribe button, and I hope that my videos can encourage you and motivate you as you're on your journey as well. All right, so thanks so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.